Good morning, Sean Danley. I am Specialist Brown, and I am here to give a brief on developing resiliency into the squad, specifically for the ACFT, PT, or PT in general. This brief is an unclassified brief. The risk is low, it's always low. Some hazards will be dry mouth, inclement weather, tripping, and electrocution. In the risk of dry mouth, all soldiers will bring a water source to the ACFT or PT training event. In the risk of inclement weather, whether it's rain, sleet, or a tornado, the PT or ACFT event will be canceled and rescheduled for another time. To prevent tripping hazards, we will make sure that the uniform is worn to standard, and that should eliminate that. To prevent electrocution, we'll cover all ports and outlets appropriately. So, like I said earlier, as I mentioned earlier, I'm here to discuss resiliency, bringing resiliency to the squad and for the ACFT and PT events. If we change our approach on how we deal with and treat people who are struggling or having serious medical issues with their body, while instructing PT, the instructor has two options. One, re-say or tell the individual to properly perform the exercise, or to give them an alternate. Both of these ways are ineffective. It's ineffective because in the first way, if you're just telling somebody to redo an exercise but they can't perform it properly, for example, let's say somebody has a weak back and they can't do the push-up because their back is too low, so that's like a sign of a weak back, and that can't be fixed by just telling them or restating the problem. And the alternate for the push-up is to get on your knees, so you're not really using your back as much. You're just pushing up off your knees, and so that doesn't build strength either. And so what the Army should lead towards doing is analyzing each individual soldier's problem, and then making a program specifically for that soldier to better their weaknesses. So if they have a weak back, we need to implement more individual specific workout plans. So how I trained for PT or ACFT was I wake up an hour early, or before I go to bed I would stretch, and then we would eat more healthy foods, home cooked foods, before we actually perform the ACFT or PT event. And so that helped me a lot with running or my endurance during the ACFT, APFT. But I was still struggling with a push-up, so that helped me with running, but I couldn't do as many push-ups still. So what my NCO did was he took me aside after work, and every day he would consistently help me train to get more proficient doing push-ups, more and more push-ups, and training muscle groups that I was weak in, like upper back, shoulders, biceps, for endurance, so I could perform more, and so I could perform better. This was an everyday event. This was an everyday thing. So having somebody, I don't want to say to hold your hand and walk you through it, but to consistently check on you and make sure that you are properly exercising and focusing on what needs to actually be targeted, like your actual issues, instead of going to PT and doing the single leg over or the extended flex. You know what I'm saying? Like actually targeting like the problem and the core of the issue of your personal specific issue, and then working on that 7 days a week helps. It helps build confidence and resiliency and making sure that you can perform the exercises when you need to. Another issue that people have for the upcoming ACT PT is even before we do or take a PT test, we have height and weight. And so there's a lot of overweight. Like in my last unit, we had a lot of overweight NCOs. We had a lot of very, very hefty people in our squad. And so a way that we combated this, the way help people find the motivation to get up and be active and go to the gym and try to lose that weight was the sauna. The sauna, a lot of people spend like 15, 20 minutes in a sauna sweating all that extra water weight out so when they're taped, it's less weight, basically. And it was people in the saunas in the gym. So people would go to the sauna, sweat, so as much as they could, go to the gym, work out, and just keep constantly trying to burn or lose calories. And a lot of people say that water weight was like a big factor when it comes to height and weight. And so that was like a little trick or a little niche to get people into the door and get people wanting to exercise. In summary, there are multiple ways to help a soldier find motivation or help improve a soldier's issues, but it needs to be like assessed. And you have to think, and you have to actively try to find solutions or ways to improve. It's not just telling a soldier to you can't keep yelling at somebody to do an exercise that you see them unable to perform. Like that should already trigger something in your head that says, hey, he can't do it. Why? Like the reason why that they cannot perform, and then assisting that soldier into being able to perform. Does that make sense? Like like it's a rehabilitation process. And from what I see in the Army, that's not occurring. That's not happening. Instead of like taking notes of the people in your squad, and instead of talking to them and trying to work with them, it's more like you're failing and you're not meeting this objective, and it's creating a bad environment. It's creating a negative environment where people don't want to thrive. Because if you keep bringing that negative energy, like people don't respond well to it. But if, let's say, we try a few back exercises, like at for the person who has a weak back and they can't lift themselves up in a straight horizontal line when they do the push-up, if we give them something to work on and have them like build, for lack of better words, like success in like that exercise, like when you go to the gym, there's a thing where you put your legs up on, and you're just bending your back and you're falling forward. I can't do a good demonstration because I'm not in the gym right now, but if there's a way to training, is my point. A way where we can see growth in our teammates and in our squad, that can help grow the need to care and grow the need to want to actively be a part and actively be engaged. Because like from what I see, people are at PT like physically, but they're not mentally there. They're over it. They're stressed. They're tired. You know what I'm saying? People are talking to them any type of way, and we need to dial that down, and like really focus on the problem and the issues of what's going on with them, and to improve and show progress. Any questions? No questions. Cool. So AAR was what was supposed to happen. I was supposed to give a brief about building resiliency. And did that happen? Yes. To build resiliency, or at least for myself, I took time out to try to better myself, and I had a mentor, a leader to take me under his wing to improve and show improvement. Other people with other needs, because that was for a physical deficiency. But if you're trying to lose weight, like that's their issue, to pass height and weight so they don't get kicked out for that or don't be flagged for that. There's ways, there's methods. So one that I didn't talk about was juicing, not eating solid food, but just juicing to help lose weight quickly. But the one that I did discuss was when we were in the sauna, when we were in the gym working out, and then going to the sauna for 15-20 minutes after each session to help get rid of all that extra water weight that people are holding on to, because that's majorly in more wider, heavy-set men. And that was the solution that they found to be the most effective to help them. What was good? What was bad? What was good was the dedication within leadership to see soldiers improve or help me improve. And then what could be improved or what was bad was sometimes how we treat soldiers who cannot perform at the level that we expect them to. So what I'm talking about is, let's say if I can do push-ups and then telling me that I'm fucked up, or if I can't do the exercise and this and that, and constant belittlement and aggression, it builds not resiliency, it builds animosity, and it builds like issues in the platoon and in the squad, and that's what we're trying to avoid. What could be better? How we handle situations with ourselves and with our peers. Taking notes and tracking each other's progress and tracking like, hey, I seen you did on the last APFT, I see you did 65. For the next one, I need you to get 70. You know what I'm saying? Like, keeping record and keep pushing people to improve and be better. I think that's what could be improved on. That's it for the AAR. There were no injuries. All controls were effective. SGL, may I leave this brief?